Nigga say he swipe a bitch from me. Where the card at? Catch his ass loafing in the street. Where your heart at? Tool belt, 2 hammers, bitch, you better wear your heart at. A nigga bark at me, I guarantee I'ma bark back. Roof, nigga, I'ma bark back. Roof, nigga, I'ma bark back. Roof, nigga, I'ma bark back. Roof, I'ma bark back. If she fucking with the P, she paid a fee. I don't call back. At your job, no Keith, I kick a dope. I need all that. Been a problem since a youngin', ain't a nigga that can solve that. Pull up if you want and you gon' get a bullet car at the stove with a hoe. Loco motto, what they call that? Bad bitch, check her Twitch. Look like Jay from Mortal Kombat. Might catch a contact, no penalties. I'm in the red zone. Trying to make a sale with no service, that's a dead zone. Death before dishonor on my flesh and my headstone. Telling on your fam so you can scram, boy, you dead wrong. Remember catching plays, serving J's out of Bando. 4-5 on my waist, a bowie knife like I'm Rambo. On my soldier slim shit, head to toe, rocking camo. I do it for the famo, you do it for attention. Read between the lines or you lacking comprehension. I don't need a fucking switch bump, fire and repetition. Niggas say he swiped a bitch from me. Where the card at? Catch his ass loafing in the street. Where your heart at? Tool belts or hammers, bitch, you better wear your hard hat. A nigga bark at me, I guarantee I'ma bark back. Roof, nigga, I'ma bark back. Roof, nigga, I'ma bark back. Roof, nigga, I'ma bark back. Roof, I'ma bark back.
The Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution guarantees the right of the people to keep and bear arms. It states that a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
GMG, bow!
What's happening, man? What's going on, pimps? Huh?
What's good? What's good? Back again, man.
Deal? What's the deal, man?
Hey, man.
Talk to me.
I can't call it, might spoil it, brother.
Mm-hmm.
We working, man. I'm always working. I ain't go to bed at 4:30 this morning. I'm tired as hell. I'm still on here about to talk y'all damn head off.
And that work, you know what it is, man.
Always working.
50 Foster in the building. In the woods, 456. MKM, you know what it is, man.
What's good? What's good? Another day, another dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Had a chance to make the Eagle on that quarter holler.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
man.
Talk to me, man.
I mean, so I try to be a man of my word. You know, I promised that today, you know, I was going to give some free game on trust law, right? I say, you know what? I'm gonna rephrase the title. I'm gonna say trust law / estate planning, because that's really what a trust is. It's an estate. So when you're dealing with trust, you're dealing with estates, right? So I'm gonna say topic for today is trust law / estate planning, because most niggas do not even know what a trust is. They think an estate is a mansion somewhere in California, and yeah, you know, you lost in the sauce, and hey, you know, I'm trying to get you about the, you know, the sinkhole, so you know you can set your estate up right in a way to where you have asset protection, and your beneficiaries, who could be your children, your wife, your spouse, your girlfriend, your baby mama, your cousin, your best friend, whoever, right? Whoever you decide to make a beneficiary to that estate or that trust. Yeah. So these are things that, because I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. You know, I know you've heard the saying, so and so, they a trust, they got money, they a trust fund baby, or you know, or she a trust fund baby, he a trust fund baby. You know, they people got money. It's not really that they have money. They might not have any liquid, you know, assets or any actual cash or money, right? Usually people who are thinking in that aspect, they have trust in place, and they have assets. They have their wealth or their riches is tied into assets, right? Not actual hard cash.
Right.
Which you know firsthand. You know, Rich Dad Poor Dad speaks on that. So yeah, but this is why I stress this personally, right? I have two elderly parents, right? They're in their 70s. They sick. They didn't take care of their bodies. They didn't take care of their health, which most of us don't. You know what I mean? I ate some bullshit last night. I shouldn't have ate. You know. You know, I was up till 4 a.m, not just because of that. There's some other stuff, but you know, I'd have been up 4 a.m. anyway, because you know,
ass on the toilet, beatboxing,
back and forth to the bathroom. You hear me? I made a whole instrumental in there. You hear me? So nah, seriously. So like, but yeah, you know, they didn't exhaust all their resources, which most of our people don't. Meaning, this information is not, you know, you don't have to join a secret society, or you don't have to be in some fraternal order to have this knowledge or this information. It's all you gotta do is Google it. It's free. Just Google it, look into it. You know what I'm saying? Look it up. Every state is a little different, and probably, you know, maybe the forms, where you get the forms, how you fill them out. But unilaterally, I think that every state, you know, well, if they, you know, following the rules, which you know how government is. So if they're doing everything by the book, right? Your Secretary of State should be who you need to reach out to, right? Usually it's 2025. It's not like back in the day, you know, when I ain't gonna say back in the day like we old, but you know, when we were young, you know, young men, you know, in that time period, the internet didn't exist. So you would have to physically go down to the courthouse or whatever municipality building that, you know, your state representatives are in, and you would have to get those documents, right, from the Secretary of State's office, and fill them out and file them. You know, hard copy there. What you should still do, I encourage to hand walk them in, me personally, right? Because anything can happen from the time it leave your hands, go through the mail, and you know what I'm saying? But if you go on the mail route, I suggest mailing it certified. So that way you get the return mail receipt, so you know that they got it, right? Notice the principal is notice the agent, notice the agent is notice the principal. So it don't matter who signed it. You know what I'm saying? If you signed it, that means you have authority granted to you by whoever's in charge to be able to do that. If not, then that's a lawsuit. So a lot of this information is, you know, the reason why, you know, I'm not gonna say their name, you know, you monetize, but you know, the J letter people, nobody fucks with them. Right. You notice that? Nobody. They even got their own police. Go up to New York. They got their own police. They police their own communities. They have their own communities. You know, why ain't no black town? You got Chinatown, you got Jewtown, you got Korean town, you got all these different towns, right? Different countries that have communities, right? And within our communities. They have communities within our communities, but we don't have a community. Because we divided, right? We don't work together. They work together and they winning.
Look, so, hey, what's happening? Hey, doctor, what's happening?
What's good? What's good?
Hey, Quick FC. Yeah, continue, bro.
Yeah, so number one, if you don't have a trust And me personally, well, okay, so just like you have different entities, right? You have trusts, you have nonprofits, you have S corps, you have C corps, you have LLCs, right? Think of the game. This is the easiest way a child can understand this. Think of the game of Monopoly, right? You can't physically get on the board. I mean, you can, but I don't see how that. I mean, if you a small person, maybe you're a child or something, they might can do it, but I don't see how you can physically get on the board and play the game. You don't put yourself in the game, right? You need a conduit or mediator or a go-between, right? You need something that exists within that jurisdiction. I'm using different terminology. Pay attention to the terminology I'm using. You need an entity, right? Nonprofit, i.e. the nonprofit, the C Corp, the S Corp, the LLC. You need that entity to do business or commerce or trade, right, within a jurisdiction that you physically can't get into. So just like the game of Monopoly, you can't physically get on that board and walk around it. Damn, I stepped on your pride. I got to go to jail, and you got to walk across the board of it. No. So you need a conduit, right? You need a go-between. You need an entity, right, to use to play the game. Now, you yourself are not the entity, right? Are you the top hat? Are you the little dog? You know what I'm saying? You the game piece? No. You're who you are. But in order to play the game, you need a piece, right? You need a little man. You need a character, whatever you want to call it. An Legus, Nam Nagir, straw man. There's many names, right? But they all mean the same thing. Just like you got nonprofits, LLCs, trusts, C corps, S corps. All of these are entities. They're all the same thing. It just depends on how you want to play the game. Determines on what entity you need to use.
Right.
So this is information that is really detrimental if you hopping into business or you doing commerce and you don't know you don't have this foundation. This is when the tax issues come in. When they hit me for taxes, or I got audited, or they trying to do this and trying to do that, or they trying to shut me down, or the white man the white man can't do nothing if you know your shit. I don't fear nobody because I done figured this shit out, the whole game, the whole match. I'm Neo. I done figured this shit out. I put the work in. I done went to jail over this shit and some more. And I cite my sources. I ain't one of these, fake guru dudes out here I figured it out. When I say I figured it out, that means I figured it out. So my understanding of the world or this system or this economy, right? This matrix, if you will, is not your understanding, right? So it's just like the Bible said, you don't give a baby, steak, meat. They gotta drink that milk. And once they can handle that milk, then they start moving up to solid food. Then they, what I'm saying? It's a slow process. You can't rush it, right? Because you're gonna fuck yourself up. Because you get that baby steak, what's gonna happen to that baby?
Yeah.
If you don't take the hospital, you're gonna die. You can't digest it. You don't have the enzymes. You don't have the you haven't developed your immune system and your digestive system hasn't developed enough for you to be able to break that down. Really, shit, for us, it don't ever to that point. We ain't supposed to eat that shit. But do you get my point though? You get the knowledge.
Yeah.
So back to Monopoly. So when dealing with trust law, right? When you're dealing with a trust, or any entity at that, right? Think of the game of Monopoly. So you need the piece, right? So say you got the little top hat. All right, you starting off in the game, right? You got X amount of dollars you can work with, you know what I'm saying? You buy your first property. So basically look at the money that you start the game off with. That's your line of credit. Look at it like that. Because it's not yours, right?
Right.
It ain't yours. You had to go to the banker. The banker is the one who pays out everybody, right? So it's not yours, right? Which it's not. If you look at the note, right? Because it's not money. I ain't trying to get too deep, but if you got a dollar bill, or a 5, or 10, or 20, or 50, or 100, and you look on the top of that note, because it's not money. Nowhere on that negotiable instrument does it say money. If you look at the top of that note, it tells you what it is. It says Federal Reserve note. So it's property of who?
Man, salute Genetics Rocket, man.
That's a question.
I mean, answer it.
I'm asking you if it says Federal Reserve note on the top of that note, that negotiable instrument, because that's what it is, right? Inflation
belongs to the Federal Reserve Bank.
It belongs to the Federal Reserve Bank. So you're using a form of currency or legal tender that is not yours.
Mm-hmm.
So they fade. You remember? I don't know if you do your homework. Back in 1933, remember that's when they instituted or brought in the Federal Reserve banking system.
Yeah.
Before that, we were under the gold standard.
Man, what's the name of that book, man? Something Island, man. I forgot the name of it, man. They talk all about that.
You said
I
island.
read it. I forgot. It's something on some island, man. But it talks all about the Federal Reserve and the monopoly they created.
Yep, because that's literally what they did. They cornered the market, literally. So
yeah,
if you take out, so think about this. They took the gold standard out, right? In 33, right?
No. It wasn't the gold standard came out in like
I'm sorry, I think it was 28.
60. No, it was like 60. It was 65, 66, somewhere around there. 65.
Right.
Yeah,
the gold standard.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm getting the dates mixed up. But the Federal Reserve banking cartel, that's what I call them, was instituted or established in 1933.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do your homework, that's the same year, the Great Depression.
Right.
So what they did, they collapsed the USA, right? And they had a coup d'etat, they shut that down, right? So this US that we have now is literally a corporation. It's not a government. They're pretending to be government. That's why they don't pass laws. They can't pass laws. That's why they have acts. Peep the verbiage they be using. I told you, English is literally was created for witchcraft, right? To cast spells. That's why when you're a child and you go to elementary school, you learn how to read and write. The first thing they teach you is spelling. Spelling. You're casting spells with words. That's why when they used to tell it, all words don't hurt me. What's how it go? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's a lie. I've been hurt plenty of times by words. I'm talking about to the point I'm ready to kill somebody, ready to punch them in their mouth, all that. So words do have meaning.
Yeah, Cal TV said it, man. It's called Jekyll Island, man. Y'all check that out. I haven't read the book, but I've had a few summaries about it or whatnot. But yeah,
I got another book. I'm gonna have to look. Let me see if I can find it. It's another book I got too, dealing with that. It might be the same book you talking about.
Yeah.
See, what Jekyll I do is, man, and I encourage everybody, if you don't have the finances, or even if you do, because it just don't make sense to waste money like that. It's 2025. Don't nobody really, sitting at. Some people, like Big A, they like the physical hard books. I'm on the go a lot, so I prefer, to have a PDF on my phone or my laptop, so I can access it whenever, wherever, right? Have it in the cloud.
Yeah.
And a lot of these books are hundreds of dollars, some are thousands of dollars, right? They don't want you to know this information, right? But if you do your homework, do your research, a lot of them you can find in PDFs for free online. A lot of them.
And how you got Midnight?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, if y'all ever check Midnight out, man, go check Midnight out by Sister Soldier, man. Hey, man, I swear if you got sons, man, I'd make them read that.
Yep, Slugger, right. It's the creature from Jekyll Island.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the creature from. Hold on, let me look it up real quick.
Yeah.
I have that book. I got to check my drive, but I do know I had that book. That's a good one though. That's a good read. That's a foundational book right there. When I was talking the other day about building a solid foundation, that's one of those books. Another good one to go along with that is he was I think he was a CIA agent. CIA agent. Was it CIA? I think it was CIA. Cooper. Stanley Cooper. Is it Stanley Cooper?
I don't know. I don't
But
know
anyway,
anything
the book
about
is
that.
called the name of the book is Behold a Pale Horse.
Okay. Say it one more time.
Behold a Pale Horse.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't remember the author's name, but it's something Cooper, I think. But
Okay.
the title is Behold a Pale Horse. Powerful book, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna blow your mind. Powerful book.
Yeah.
And it's old. You know, a lot of rappers, back in, like Public Enemy. What's the guy, the dude, CeeLo and them?
Yeah.
In Atlanta. What's Dungeon Goody Mob. A lot of guys, they'll spit little, Sticky Fingers, Illuminati, one of my minds. I mean, not Sticky. Who said Prodigy? It's certain artists, they'll say little lines and raps. Nas spits a lot of knowledge, a lot. It's a lot of shit that when I listen to old Nas rap, like from like what was not Stillman, it was the first Illmatic. You gotta think that came out in what, 94?
Yeah.
93, 94?
Okay, so I'm glad you said that because I want to bring this up, man. Because it's a difference between spitting knowledge and using knowledge, right? Because knowledge, because Nas and Goody Mob, they spit a whole bunch of knowledge, but they broke. You know, well, not Nas now. You know what I'm saying? But they broke. But then when you look at Birdman, and I'm not in Birdman pocket. I don't know what he got going on now. But I read the book called Russell Simmons Do You. And in Russell Simmons Do You, Russell Simmons go into detail talk.
Hold up, I can't hear you. You went out.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, you back.
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. What was the last thing you heard?
You went out, but oh shit! Behold, William Cooper. That's right. Lone Wolf got it. It's William Cooper.
Okay.
But you might as well start your statement over, bro, because you went out.
Okay. Yeah. Nah. So check this out. So you know what I'm saying? Birdman.
Hold on. Tony talking shit. Tony said.
What did he
Tony
say?
talking shit. He said when you download the PDF, they got an app that will read it to you. He talking to
you. Yeah. Nah, but on the cool though. Like certain books, man. Yeah, man. Shoot, audio book. You know, like the book I'm talking about, Midnight. That's an audio book. You can audio book it. I'd rather read it, but you can audio book it. When I read books, man, I put like voices in my head and all that stuff as I'm reading it and all that stuff. Somebody reading it to me, it mess up everything. But anyway, yeah. But now, man, Russell Simmons got a book called Russell Simmons Do You, and in the book he talks about him starting his clothing line, him going through this divorce, he dropped some heavy game in that. You know what I'm saying? It's heavy, man. But anyway, he was talking about Birdman and when he signed, trying to sign Cash Money, and he goes into the whole spiel, and he was like, Birdman came in and sat down. Him and his brother came in and sat down. They sat at the table, and he saw with all the tattoos and all the tatted up and all this stuff, and you automatically have a first impression. But at that point in time, I think Juvie had sold like 14,000 records. Lil Wayne had sold 10,000. The whole clique, all of them had sold around that amount of records at that time. And this is local within the city, within their own city, which is big time. That's you selling a lot of records if you're doing that big time. And this is before the internet and all that stuff. So all they needed was a machine behind them. So he hit him with, okay, I'll give you $1 million. I'll sign you for $1 million. And Birdman and his brother was like, nah, we good. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, they held out on multiple meetings like that where people were offering this stuff because they knew what they wanted. They ended up at Universal, and they ended up getting a 80-20 split for production. For distribution. 80% goes to them, 20% goes to Universal. Okay. And then on top of that, they got $2 million for each to promote each artist for each album. So you got Mannie Fresh, you got you know what I'm saying, Baby himself, you got the whole clique, you got Juvie, Wayne, all of them. So every year they get $2 million to promote an album for that artist. So you know what I'm saying, sitting back and doing the deal and handling business first, while you have a lot of people spitting a lot of game, but they not walking it behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Because if you were to look at things on the flip side, you get people be spitting a whole bunch of game, but it doesn't reflect in on the back end. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you can look at somebody like Baby, and from afar, you be like, he ain't got it together. You know. But then when you sit down and talk to him, and you start talking business, it's all the way together. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, you know, how he set it up, because Universal signed Cash Money. You know what I'm saying? Baby and his brother own Cash Money. So the deal is with Baby and his brother. It's not for the artists at all. So that means when Juvenile went 4 times platinum, he ain't even get $1 million from Baby and them. And the distribution deal is 80-20. Let's just say, and it went 4 times platinum. And let's just say you sold each record for $10. He ain't, you know what I'm saying? And they get $8 off of each record. He ain't even get $1 million. Yeah. But that's a perfect situation to show you things on the flip side. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't take the time to handle business first. You know, and I don't like talking about the rap game too much because it's real messy and stuff. But at the same time, like when you start looking at it from that type of perspective, and they had a signing bonus of $20 million with that deal. Mm-hmm. But you know, when you start looking at things from a broad perspective, a lot of us get out here with talents. We got a mindset. You know, we got direction. We putting in the work, but we not handling our business first. And this is where we going with it, the foundation. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why, you know, you got an idea, you got this, you pushing it out and doing all the work around it, but you never took the time to handle the business first. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Yeah. Yep.
Cosmo talking about Birdman and
oh yeah.
Kept his masters and got 85 to 15 split. Yep.
Yeah. But see, you know what I'm saying, and that's, you know, because you were saying Nas and that, and Nas was one of my, like, I fooled with Nas back, you know, and all of that. But a lot of those rappers, man, they was broke. They said they talk the noise, but at the same time, you in a 360 deal or you in this type of deal that locks everybody. And then as time go by, you smarten up. And these are the mistakes that we make on a daily basis as men. That's us looking at them because they public. But if you reflect and look at your own self, how many mistakes did you make because you didn't handle business first? Yep. How many opportunities did you pass up because you didn't handle business first?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to get into the flow of things and get to moving and just get to working, and then it's harder to take the time to sit still, you know. And that's another jewel that Sister Soldier dropped in the book Midnight. Man, a man can learn anything if he has the patience to sit still. You know, and a lot of times we especially now, man, where your attention span is so short. You know, we don't have the time to take out and just be like, okay, let me go ahead and look, how can I actually build this? What are the proper steps I need to go to? You know, yeah. But yeah,
age generation, man. You want everything now. You ain't got no patience.
Yeah. My bad, Cal. He went 10 million. That's right. He went 10 million. Yeah, and he ain't even get 1 million off of that. But guess what? The people that handle their business first, they reap the benefit, and we don't look at it from that perspective. Now, you know, and then we'll go ahead. What's up?
I'm happy you brought this up because this is something I know that most can relate to because it's the era we grew up in. These are things that we saw, we lived through, we witnessed, right? We were there for the ride. We don't know the backstory, the inside, you know, information, but we know what we saw on TV, the movies, you know, we know the numbers, you know what I'm saying? What's public information, right? So now going off what you just said, right? Most people would say, he's a Birdman, Puffy, Russell Simmons. Give me some other ones.
Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti is one of the best examples. He might be a better example than Birdman.
Hear me out. So most people would say, oh, they finesse they artists, they you know, they not good businessmen, they do bad business, they'll fuck you over, don't trust them, don't do business with them, right? Nobody, and I want everybody to hear this loud and clear, nobody can fuck you over in business if you have a solid foundation in commerce law and trust law, especially commerce law, commercial contracts. Do you understand how to contract, how to set up an agreement, right? The legalities, you understand the language.
I just know how, all I know how to do is rap, and I'm good at it. That's how the mindset be.
Then you fuck. But that's the problem. So we don't learn the industry. We learn the music part of it, you know, the production and the performance and all that side of the industry, but we don't learn the business. We don't learn the music business. We learn the music industry, but we don't learn the business.
Well, I just use the music industry as an example. I mean, in general, man, in life, period. I mean, I just use that because it's something that we all know. You know what I'm saying?
And look, Mad Doctor said Ice Cube the best at business. Now, I wouldn't say he the best, but out of NWA, he was. He's the most
multitasking.
I'm happy. You know what? I'm happy he brought up Ice Cube. Now, think of NWA, right? Jerry Heller, who was he was one of them J people, by the way, right? Because that's all these record executives. They just so happen to it's just a coincidence. They all J people. Now, he was fucking them over, right? Now, I wouldn't say he was fucking them over. I was saying he was doing good business. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. So if you're incompetent, hold on, hear me out. If you're incompetent, meaning you're not in your proper person and you have to be represented in court, right? You're a ward of the state. Peep the verbiage. Y'all need to be writing these words now. You're a ward of the state. You're a ward of the state, so you can't present yourself in court. You have to be represented in court, or what we say represented, right? But it's represented. Right. So since you can't present yourself, you have no standing. You can't be heard in the court, right? Because you have no standing. So somebody else has to speak for you. That's why you need a barrister from the Barristers Association that we call lawyers, right? Legal counsel, right? An attorney at law. Not attorney in law, at law. But Ice Cube is a great example because Ice Cube took the time out to actually read the fucking contract. Nobody reads these. Who the fuck sign? Why would you sign anything, right? I ain't trying to be funny. I ain't trying to be nasty. But in the contract, and I'm sure Diddy probably did some shit like this. Diddy could put in his contracts with his artists, right? His artist contracts. He can have the underwriters or his lawyers put in there that he wants his knob polished every Thursday at 7 p.m. in his office by all his artists. Now, if that is terms, if that's in the agreement and you sign and date it and get it notarized, you have to, by law, this is how crazy this shit is. By law, you have to top him off every Friday at 7 in his office. And if you don't, guess what that means? You're in breach of contract. So now he can sue you and he can get remedy. He can actually go in court and sue you and win his case because you didn't give him head. Now, as crazy as that sounds, it is a fact. It can happen. It may have happened. That might be why a lot of these, situations, we go, oh, he was a real one. I know he ain't do this, that, and the third. I know y'all probably at this point, everybody heard about Biggie, getting caught with Puffy and, situation. I don't put it past no man, because I don't know who you truly are. Only you know who you are when ain't nobody around.
Right.
I don't know what you do, what you think. All I know is what you show me. So if I know that you're not a person who understands the industry or the business that you into, I know that eventually you're gonna fall prey. You're gonna become a victim eventually. It's only a matter of time. Somebody gonna fuck you over. It's like, for instance, it's like if you see a special needs person or somebody that's kind of slow, right? And they walking down the street and they drop $100 bill. Now, depending on your situation, what type of person you are, you may pick that $100 bill up, put it in your pocket. You may pick it up. Hey, man, you dropped this. It depends. But ultimately, whatever you choose to do, it's not on you. It's on him, because he dropped his money. He should have been more responsible with his finances. How does your money fall out of your pocket? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Secure your bag. Protect yourself. Asset protection. So coming in the game, this is what I tell all these youngins. I know a lot of producers, A&Rs. I got family members that rap and friends of the family that rap and entertainers. I'm talking about, big. And I tell them all, I don't care how big I don't care how much, you could be a millionaire. I don't give a fuck. If you don't understand commerce law and trust law, you fucked. Or if you don't understand it and you don't want to learn it, you still kind of fucked, because you can hire a lawyer. You can get an estate's attorney, right? You can get a lawyer to set up your trust and your estate's trust for you and all that. Revocable trust, a living trust, but they can explain all this shit and all that. But guess what? You still got to pay them, and they still can fuck you over.
Yeah.
They can become what's called a belligerent fiduciary. So these are all, this is why I say what I say. It's like, I see things for what they are, not for what people want me to believe they are. The magic trick don't work on me, because I done figured out the trick. Now everybody needs to look this up. Let's try to stay on topic, because we ain't got much time today. I gotta get some sleep. Now, you can go to the IRS website. IRS.gov. Go to IRS.gov. You can go to the IRS website. They have all the information on foreign trusts. On trusts, all types. You have revocable trust, living trust, non-revocable trust. It's another one I'm forgetting, but every type of trust that there is, right? All this information. Samurai in the building. What's good?
Oh, that was me.
Oh, that's you. Oh, okay. Hold on, I'm rapping. What Wood talking about? Biggie raps. Damn.
Suspect. Suspect.
Who said suck your daddy dick? Man, not only that, bro. You know what? And I used to rap this one lyric, and I used to be like, bro.
I know. I know. You talking about over the bridge?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know everybody know that line, and when you hear it now, it's like,
nobody.
What?
Kill somebody. Yeah.
So, I mean, but hey, that's why I don't look. But that's why I'm happy that what's happening now is happening. All the fakes and all the BS is getting exposed. Right now, today, we are in the age of Aquarius, the age of information. The Bible say no stone will be unturned. Why do you think all it is? We under the Aquarian light. I'm not trying to go too far into the esoterics, but we under the as above, so below. We're under the Aquarian light. Why do you think it's the age of information? Like I said, right? Age of Aquarius, the age of information. Why do you think all this information is so easily accessible all of a sudden now? Why do you think all these people, these entertainers, these athletes, these rappers, they feel the need to all of a sudden expose everything? I've never heard this word expose or exposure so much in my life, ever. Oh, so-and-so just got exposed for being gay, or so-and-so just got exposed for messing with trannies, or so-and-so just got exposed for doing this or doing that. Why does everybody feel the need with B2K, all these different people? Why you've been holding this secret in for 30, 40 years? Why all of a sudden now you can't hold it in no more? I gotta let the world know what happened to me. Did he put his thumb up my butt? Like, why now? Did he put his thumb up your butt when you was 8 years old? Why all of a sudden now you 40, 50 years old? Now you feel the need to let the world know what he did. Why? Because everybody else is doing it? Why now? Y'all all been silent and just coping and doing drugs and doing whatever, trying to cope, going to therapy, whatever, trying to just deal with the issue. But all of a sudden now everybody wants to tell their story. Why? everybody wants to expose. Oh, I'm exposing this person. I'm exposing that person. But look, it's a whole. It's become a whole. I don't know what to call it, bro. It's a whole like movement on YouTube. And I would say between Charleston White and Jaguar Wright, they quarterbacking this shit.
Man, doctor said they did Bill bad. Yes, they did, man. They did Bill bad.
Yeah, they did Bill bad. Because if you know the true story behind that, they do all of them bad. They did Prince bad. They did Michael bad.
Oh, hold up. Time out. Well, let's talk about Shannon Sharpe.
I just saw something this morning. I told you I've been up working, but I seen something come across my my timeline about Shannon Sharpe. Would you enlighten me?
Well, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I can't give you all the facts in in detail, so y'all don't quote me on this, man. But Shannon Sharpe got I want to say a sexual assault charge starting with an R, and you know what I'm saying?
But it don't surprise me because it's a ritual. That they all go through.
Yeah, they got phone conversations. Oh, they got phone They got phone conversations. He talking about choking her and all types of stuff, man. I ain't seen the text messages that Shannon was trying to show. But I can say this though, man. You gotta be careful out there, man. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing that'll make you laugh, make you cry.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He out here defending himself now, man. And the thing is, it's real, man. You know, and let's not lie. You know, they out to get you. You know what I'm saying? You got that bag. You in the. You know what I'm saying?
But look, Big A, that's another thing that irritates me, bro. It's too many niggas, successful men out here that's just clueless about how the world works. It's like, how do you get to this point? If you're not an industry plant and you legitimately made it to where you are in life just off your work ethic and you grinding and just putting that work in, how the fuck do you not know these basic? You understand what I'm saying? It's like,
well, it goes back to the basic formula. Like I said, being a young man when your nuts drop, having a financial education, man. Because when you learn finances, you start to understand, like, man, hey, this ain't adding up.
But that's an excuse, Big A. I don't agree. That's an excuse because at the end of the day, let's hear me out. Even at the end of the day, even if that's the case, even if you don't have that knowledge, you're not privy to certain information. If you have the capital, bruh, you can pay somebody to do all this shit for you. You can pay somebody that knows this information to handle these things for you.
I was going to say that but I wanted to wait for the financial talk and talking about building an all-star team, because that's what, not jumping ahead, but at the same time, like, okay, talk about Henry Ford and how Henry Ford had the education elementary student, and he created the first commercial automobile. How did he do that?
Hold on. Pause 1 second. I ain't trying to cut you off, but I wanted. So Henry Ford. Now you said he had a what? What education?
Elementary education.
Okay, now modern day, somebody hearing that today would think that he was incompetent or he was lacking in knowledge because he didn't finish school. Hold on, hear me out. But the education system today, you could be a PhD college graduate and you still don't know as much as your grandparents or great grandparents did just coming out of middle school or elementary school. I got a test right now, Big A. I'll send it to you. It's from the 1800s. It's I think it's a 5th grade test, grade completion test or something like that. Final exam. I promise you won't pass that motherfucker. Yeah. Just your knowledge alone. No Googling nothing, no looking nothing up. Just on your own competency alone, taking that test, I promise you won't pass it. I gave it to my aunt and uncle, who are both have doctorate degrees, okay? Summa cum laude and all that other crap, right? I'm talking about studious niggas. I'm talking about these is the most coonish, they just, and they couldn't pass it. They was embarrassed. Right. I can't believe it. This is the eighth. I know it was eighth grade. I think it was eighth grade placement test. I can't believe it. Eighth grade with it. I said exactly. So what does that tell you? Your grandparents and great grandparents, but they didn't finish school, but they still were sharper than you.
Right.
But I digress.
Yeah. So he created the first commercial automobile, and he had an elementary education, and you know, they asked him, how did you make this, and with your background and everything like that, and in so many words, he was like, I don't have to be the smartest person in the room. I just need to be able to hire them. So, with that being said, a lot of us don't have necessarily the time to invest in certain things that you need to invest into, but you can invest into them in other ways, and that's part of building your all-star team. If you were looking at it from a real estate perspective, and I know it costs money or whatever, but you would want to have you a lawyer. That's first thing. You would want to have an accountant. You would want to have a second accountant. You would want to have your own personal real estate agent that, finds property for you. You would want to have, like a handyman that does all the quick fixes and all that stuff around. You would want to have somebody who assists a property manager and all types of stuff, man. Mm-hmm. And when you set all of that stuff up and you do it correctly, then all of a sudden people are bringing you scripts. Look at this house. You want this house? What needs to, and you tell you, all you're doing is pointing. This needs to get done, that needs to get done, so on and so forth. You built you an all-star team. You send all the paperwork through your lawyer checks it, comes back, and next thing you know, you 100% protected, and you're not doing that much work. But it costs. And you know what I'm saying? Like Rob Kiyosaki said, and it made sense when you think about it like this. And yes, it costs money. But think about this from a real estate perspective. If you were my real estate agent working for me, and I'm paying your salary, you not working for anybody else, you get your check from me. How hard are you working to make sure that I make money? Same thing with your lawyer, same thing with with your handyman, same thing with them. If you are their salary, that's they focused on making you make money. You know what I'm saying? If you make money, they make money. The whole nine. So it's certain things like that, man. Hey, yeah, that's how it go, man. You have to learn some things beyond your capability as far as time frame and in a realistic setting. So you got to be able to take a step back and realize, man, you can't do it all, man. Sometimes you need to put somebody else in a position that knows how to do it on a professional level. But yeah.
Yeah, yes, you're right. I agree fully. And like you said, accounting for the accountant, because everything might not get accounted for.
Oh, let me add this. Now, mind you, I'm not saying like just do that and throw your hands up and just call it a day. Now you need to be not well versed, but you need to know a little bit about everything. But you don't need to be a professional in everything. You don't need to be a master,
Right, I agree, and that's why I say the end goal should be financial literacy, right, for yourself. Then all those people don't even need to get paid because you are all those people in one. So that should be the end goal, and that's the only true protection that you'll have, because at the end of the day, you in business, you really can't trust anybody, right? You can trust their actions, you can't really trust their words. Somebody could tell you I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and that don't mean it's gonna get done. You understand what I'm saying? So I trust actions. I listen to actions. You can tell me whatever you want, but your actions will always tell the truth.
Right.
Now, we're dealing with trust law. We're just dealing with trust, period. A lot of us, we know about wills, right? Or, they had a wills, they last will and testament, this and that, and woo, woo, woo. a will cannot exist. If a will exists, a trust exists. Both go hand in hand. The will is literally that. The grantor of the trust, right? What is their will? What do you wield? My will or my want or my expectation of the fiduciary or the trustee is to do X, Y, Z. That's what the will outlines. So when I'm dead and gone, when I transition, I pass on, what is to be done or how is my estate to be handled? If you don't have a trust in place, right, what's going to happen is your estate will go into probate. So now your children, right, your beneficiaries, your children, your grandchildren, your spouse, whoever's supposed to be inheriting, right, that estate, now they got to fight the state to get what's rightly theirs, their birthright. Because you didn't set your affair, you didn't set your house in order. But if you don't know how to do these things, or you need to do these things, then how can you do it? So generation after generation, we starting off behind the 8 ball, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like you know what I'm saying? You playing catch up. So all these other foreigners, they understand this. They have their foreign trust. They don't pay taxes. That's another thing you can look up on the IRS website. It'll tell you on the IRS, this is not my words, the IRS says that it is not mandatory that U.S. citizens pay taxes. There's no law that says that you have to pay taxes. But the number one thing people say, well, why are people going to jail for tax evasion? Because they avoided the taxes. See, this is the issue. We don't understand contract law and trust law. You agreed to pay taxes. Well, what's the original contract? Well, you agreed to all these things. The birth certificate, the Social Security account. You got a Social Security card, don't you? You got an account number, don't you? That's an account number on there. It's 9 digits. That account is registered at a Federal Reserve Bank. You can look it up. That red number on the back of your social, look it up. So what it is, everything is a trust, right? Everybody has a trust. The original trust that the state created when you were born is your birth certificate. That's a trust. And remember the lingo, remember the verbiage. A trust is an entity. It's no different than an LLC, a C Corp, a nonprofit, a S Corp, right? It's an entity. So that's why it's on bond paper. If you notice, your birth certificate is always on bond paper because it's a bond, right? It's bonded. What is a bond? It's something that's holding, restraining something. What is the contract? So you're being held, right? Restrained under this contract, under the terms of the contract. Or that birth certificate, right? Because it's not you. That's why if you notice on your birth certificate, the date it was issued ain't the day that you was born. But the date is correct on your certificate of live birth. I done dug it. It's been digged. We say keep digging.
And you dig it.
It ain't that deep. You can dig it. It ain't that deep. I'm trying to tell you. It's but that's my thing. Once you have a foundation and how the system was created, who created it, and what they created it for, all the rest of this shit just falls in line. It makes sense then. So the original trust is the Cesta QV Trust. Cesta QV Trust. I think it's CES. Let me look it up. Make sure I'm spelling it correctly. If you look that up, you should be able to Google it. Let me see here. But it's called the Cesta QV Trust. I'm trying to make sure I'm spelling y'all the correct spelling.
And what's that got to do with?
Your birth certificate.
Okay.
So the Cesta QV Trust is what the original trust that was created. So all this stuff goes in together, right? The Cesta QV Trust. What was we talking about earlier? The Federal Reserve banking system, Cesta QV Trust. the usurpation of the Nationals here at a Mexham, Northwestern Mexham, Turtle Island, the Madrid Al-Aqsa. I ain't trying to go too deep, man. I ain't trying to get,
Yeah, man.
I ain't trying to get too many eyes on the page that but it's a trust, right? And it's a trust that was created, and that's basically what your birth certificate is, right? And that's why everything you do in life, they go back, because that's the original contract. But this is why and this is just funny to me, because people are like, oh, so-and-so do fraud, or so-and-so do, they be scamming, or this and that. Everybody scams and everybody does fraud. Every person on this fucking planet. If you have a birth certificate and a social, right? And you are so-called black or melanated or African-American, whatever you're trying to call yourself, right? A Moor, Hebrew Israelite, a Christian, a Jehovah's Witness, I don't give a damn, right? You, my friend, are committing fraud.
How?
Because anything that begins in fraud ends in fraud. There's no statute of limitations on fraud, my brother.
Okay.
For one, hold on, hear me out. For one, that original birth certificate, right? Or certificate of live birth. I'm sorry, birth certificate. Your mother, and you can look this up. If you look at the certificate of live birth, it has your mother. It doesn't say mother. It has informant.
Mm-hmm.
Because your mother is informing, right, that not a baby, but a product has been delivered, right? Think about maritime law and admiralty law, right? The law of the seas. They brought the law of the seas to the land. That's what all this shit is. That's why they had the gold fringe when you go to court. That's why they had the gold fringe on the flag, or the banner, I should say, because it's not a flag, it's a banner, the U.S. banner. It's admiralty law. That's why you got to board the ship. They say they call well, not your name, but they call the entity's name. Because see, this is what they did. You were born. Think about the Matrix, right? You got the real you, then you got the you in the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Now the you in the Matrix ain't really you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a fake you.
Mm-hmm.
But you need that fake you in order for you to move around and do what you need to do in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Lone Wolf been reading. That's correct. Law is land, air, and water. That's correct. That's correct. Lone Wolf knows something. He holding back. Lone Wolf holding back.
Man,
Lone Wolf holding back.
Surprised, man.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's the thing. We just don't. Cause see, this is the thing. Most of us don't talk about things that we know or things that we've learned or are learning because
man. What's up?
I know what you're about to say. It's because most of us either don't care or wouldn't even be able to understand it, right?
Yeah, people don't care, don't understand. Then you don't know who you talking to.
Right.
Hey man, you say something, man, and it might be that you might be looking for a fight.
But look, this is why I say the movie The Matrix scares me, bro, because every time I watch it, it trips me out because I peep something else. So, for instance, like what you just said, those type of people in the movie, those are the agents. Because what are agents? Agents, remember what Morpheus told Neo? He said, anyone, right, we don't trust because anybody who's not unplugged, meaning anybody who's not with us, who has this understanding, who has been unplugged and taken out of the Matrix, right? Mentally, because remember it's a program. It's not real. So if you don't have that understanding and you're not with us, that means you are op, right? You are agent. What is an agent? All these, but all government officials, what do they call them? Agents. You're a federal agent. You're right. You're a federal agent. I don't care if you what department. You know what I'm saying? What branch in the military? What department? What State Department, Department of Defense, it don't matter. You're a federal agent. You yourself, right, are a federal agent. You don't know that. That's why you pay federal taxes, because you're a federal employee. That's why you pay state taxes, because you're a state employee. that birth certificate was registered in whatever state that you were born in, correct? Or born at, I should say.
Right.
So I'm trying to stay on topic. I ain't trying to go too deep. I'm trying to stay on trust. That's how I was going. It's a lot. It's a lot to break down and dissect. But this is why I say you need that solid foundation, and that's why I say there's certain movies I like to use because it helps in your understanding. You know, the verbiage and mainly learning the verbiage. Once you learn the verbiage, it makes, you know, reading certain documents or certain books a lot easier because you can take in the information easier, right? You ain't got to stop and write words down, look them up. Okay, that's what the fuck is it? All right, that means okay, that's what it's talking about. All right, cool. Let me keep on. But that's what's needed, right? You have to study to show thyself approved. You have to study. Every day you should be learning something new. Cut the TV off. Fuck LeBron. I don't care how many points his bald-headed ass scored. Open a book. LeBron ain't putting no money in your pocket. He ain't about to break no bread for you and your family. Make sure your family good. You dead and gone. Fuck LeBron. With all due respect. I wish him the best, his family. I wish them the best. But we got to do what we got to do for us. Why do you think they paying, you know, these dudes millions of dollars? Why do you think the entertainment system, the entertainment world exists? Movies, sports, all this, millions and billions of dollars a year they spending on this stuff. But the people who own these institutions, right, own everything. They control everything, even the Federal Reserve Bank. So anything that they do is not for money. They don't need money. They print it whenever they want it. Big A, how much you need? You need 5 million? All right, I'm gonna print it up. Give me about an hour. I have it printed fresh, hot off the press for you.
I need 10. Yeah,
well, I need
5 and 10s. And 5s and 10s. I need 10 million.
I got you, but you're gonna have to pay me back 15 million, right? Because I'm charging you 5 million in interest.
How long?
Indefinitely.
Oh, I'm good then. So all I gotta do is pay back 5.
You're not good, because that's the thing. That's what the national deficit is. This is money that the U.S., not us, the U.S.
No, I can pay you back.
Hold on. No, you can't. How you gonna pay me back? If I give you, okay, if you, Big A got Big A bucks, right? The only person that can give out Big A bucks is Big A. And I want some Big A bucks because I don't have my own bucks. So I got to use Big A bucks because Big A, he got a monopoly on all the industry. So if I don't use these Big A bucks, I'm screwed. So I come to Big A, hey Big A, man, I need a loan, man. I need about 5 million Big A bucks. You tell me, all right, cool, I'll give you 5 million Big A bucks, but I'm gonna need 10 Big A bucks back. So the 5 that I gave you plus the 5 in interest. Now, if you only gave me 5 and the only place I can get these Big A bucks is from Big A, how the fuck I'm gonna come up with the other 5? Where's gonna come from?
Because it's in rotation. Man, if you talking about
world, Big A, it don't exist, my brother. How can the interest? Where's the money for the? This is why it's called. This is what the J people do. Look throughout history. This is what they do, but they only do it to us because we're incompetent. Because any competent person will understand. It's no. If I got 5, you asked me for $10, right? And I ain't got $1 in my name. Can I give you that $10?
No,
because I don't have it. So where's the other 5 supposed to come from if the only place I can get it is from you? That means what? I got to go back and borrow another 5, right? To pay you back the 5 I owe you. Now I still owe you another 5. So it's just going to keep accumulating. It's going to keep growing. That's why we got the national deficit. It's in a deficit. A deficit, you're in the hole big time. And it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Because there's no way you can pay the interest off.
So check this out. We're in debt, right?
No, the U.S. is in debt. We ain't in debt. They owe us the money. We the nationals.
Okay, the U.S. is in debt. And a lot of countries have bonds that we owe within us. You know, within the U.S. They have U.S. bonds, like China, a whole bunch of countries. Not only that, when they did that thing with Saudi Arabia on the oil, where I mean Kuwait, I think it was Kuwait, where you know, anybody that buys oil can only buy it in American dollars. So the oil that is being sold around the world, you can only buy in American dollars. Meaning, if I'm in China, that means I have to change my China money over into American money, and just to purchase oil from that over there. So you know what I'm saying? When you start saying stuff like that, it's like other countries are holding debt. I mean, holding that are buying into our debt. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, now I'm explaining that. So, this is why Trump brought back the tariffs. Everybody's like, he raising the tariffs. And I see what Trump doing, but that's
I know
another topic
doing.
for another day. But okay, so hold on, my brain.
Hey, you see what Quick MC said? That's what I'm saying. Can you pay them back in gold and silver?
They don't have it, so that's what we go. So that's called the U.S. has no money. The U.S. is bankrupt. Okay, so they have to do that in order to stay afloat and to make bread, right? It's because it's all the IOU, all of it. That's what the Federal Reserve note is. It's literally an IOU. So these other countries, in order for them to do business with us, right? They have the resources. They can. A lot of countries, they still under the gold standard. That was another reason why they had to get rid of Gaddafi, because he was gonna bring the gold standard back, which would have messed up the U.S. because they ain't got no gold.
Yeah.
And that means they wouldn't be. See, this is the thing. Ain't nobody accepting these T-bonds and these treasury bonds. That's really what you're talking about. It's called a treasury bond. Mm-hmm. And none of these countries are accepting it anymore. They're like, nah, we need bread. We need resources. We need something of value. Fuck your IOUs, because when the note comes due, you can't pay.
Yeah.
So what they've been doing, they've been paying or bartering with us through our sweat equity. So when you get up every day and go to work and work for these Federal Reserve notes, you're funding the system. You're funding your own oppression. Well, that's what the Matrix is all about.
But at the same time, we have the number one bargaining piece in the world, besides the military or anything. We have the number one, we have the missing link to everything, the bargaining piece out of everything. Because as Americans, we are the number one consumers in the world. And that's a big time bargaining piece. Huge bargaining piece. Huh?
What's an American?
Man, here you go, man. Tell me, man. What's an American, man? You know what I'm saying?
Look it up. You can Google it. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna tell you shit. I'm about to go. I got my laptop right here. I'm gonna Google it. These ain't my words.
Okay.
I'm gonna look up American definition. And this goes. All right. Relating to or characteristics of the United States or its inhabitants. A leading American industry company. Also, that's an adjective, right? Then you have the noun. It says a native or citizen of the United States, right? Mm-hmm. Now that's the basic or common or modern definition of the word. What we want is the etymology. We want to do the etymology. We want to trace this word all the way back to its original meaning. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find. Okay, the original definition of American. Okay, it says the original definition of American referred to the indigenous peoples of the Americas. Specifically those discovered by Europeans. So an American is an indigenous person. What is an indigenous person? I ain't trying to go too deep into this, but I'm trying to let you know a lot of these words. That's why linguistics is so important, right? Understanding the actual definition of certain words, because we've been lied to. That's why I get so angry and upset when, about certain topics or certain things, because I fully understand the scope of our lack of knowledge. So an American, so when you hear a European say, "Oh, I'm an American," technically you're not. You're European. You are what your forefathers were. Now, just because you're born, right? Okay, for instance, you traveled, you've been around a lot of different countries, right? Matter of fact, wait a minute. Were you not born outside of the U.S.?
Yeah.
So what is your nation of origin?
I'm American citizen. No, I was born on American soil outside of the United States of America.
Okay, now make that make sense. Because you just said you were born. Maybe I'm tripping. You just said you was born American. So did y'all take the soil with you and laid it down, and then your mother gave birth to you on that soil, or
something like that? Something like that.
So you mean that you were in a different jurisdiction that had treaties with the U.S. to where you could keep your citizenship, right?
Why you gotta use all these? Huh? No, but no. Here we go. So look, all right. So I was born. I'm about to say, why you using all these linguistic words on me, bro?
Hold on. You know I want to say, hold on. I want to put now. Quick said copper colored people. Now, Quick, you right. Now, I just noticed something. The Quick shot. I noticed something quick because when years ago, when I became privy to this information, that's exactly what it said, Quick. It said copper-colored aboriginals found here by the Europeans. Now today, when I Googled it just now, it says the original definition of American referred to the indigenous peoples of the Americas, specifically those discovered by Europeans. It took the copper-colored out, because if they leave the copper-colored in, now we know exactly what indigenous people they talking about. This is what I mean when I say that spelling is witchcraft. It's magic. Yeah. They play with words. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the Matrix. It's the Matrix. Remember the code? Remember Cypher? He was like, why you think his name was Cypher? He read the code. He was, Cypher. I see the code. You see numbers. I just see, this and that. He can read the code.
Yeah.
So you gotta be able to read between the lines. But go ahead.
I was born in Germany on a U.S. base in a U.S. hospital. And when you are outside of the country and you are on a U.S. base, no matter where you are, it is considered American soil. Yeah.
I agree and disagree. So now, in the proper sense of that, it would need to be a U.S. consulate. Every country that has a treaty with the U. So basically, you wouldn't be able, as a U.S. citizen, you can only travel to countries that have treaties with the U.S. That's international commerce, international trade, foreign relations. Foreign relations. We're gonna get in that later on, in a later video as well. But that's foreign relations. So, all right, for instance, so you have two jurisdictions, right? And they have a contract, right? Because that's all the treaty is a contract. My citizens will come to your country. These are the laws that they must abide by. So they must abide by our laws, but then you have your own laws that they must abide by too. But if any of your laws, right, or in your constitution supersede ours, right, or then we got to go with ours. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So, all right, for instance, like say if you go to Dubai and you do something that's against the laws of Dubai, right, in their constitution, they can restrain you, they can detain you or whatever, but a consul from the consulate has to come and represent you.
Yeah.
So that's why I say when you say, military-based stuff like that, yes and no. But that's because they're using the military. That's why they're able to do the things that they're doing in government. It's because we've been under martial law.
Right.
So that's why we always had to be at war, because that's the only way that they can stay in power.
Yeah.
But I got too off topic, man. We was talking about trust law. So like I said, go to IRA. Let me go back here.
We gotta wrap it up, man. We passed the hour.
We are. So look, I'm gonna just say this, and then we're gonna be out. So like I said, I go to IRS.gov, right? Look up foreign trust. I want you to specifically look up foreign trust reporting requirements and tax consequences. Foreign trust reporting requirements and tax consequences. That's what I want everybody. I want you to read the whole thing. I don't care how long it takes. You got to take time out of it. Foreign trust on IRS.gov. Look up foreign trust.
Tony M, you can get the PDF and you can put it on audio, as you say.
Ain't no PDF. This is the website.
Copy and paste that bad boy and put it in audio.
Oh yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Yeah.
Tony, you know what I'm saying?
Look, I might put it in Suno and make a song.
Yeah. Man. Yeah.
But internet foreign trust is the way to go. But like I said, it's different types of trust, so it just depends on what jurisdiction you're in, i.e. what state or province. You may not even be in the US, right? Because anything outside of the US is foreign. And you want to be foreign. For example, I'm gonna put it like this. I'm gonna say this and I'm done. I'm tired. I gotta get some sleep. Think about like 007, all these spy movies and these secret, operative, Bourne Identity and all the Bourne movies and these type of people, right? If you notice, whenever they go to their stash or they got to make a move or they got to go to another country, they always have some safe deposit box or some type of stash box with a weapon, multiple forms of identification, and multiple passports. And if you notice, you always want to be foreign. So wherever you're at, you want to be foreign because then that takes you outside of that jurisdiction that you're in. For example, if you're in Texas, right? Now, if I come in Texas, I'm not a citizen of the state of Texas. I'm not a resident, so I'm not a resident.
Real quick. Tony wants you to say it one more time, the foreign trust.
What about the foreign trust? Oh, the website?
Yeah.
Well, you can Google foreign trust and get information, but I specifically want everybody to go to the IRS website, right? So you know it's coming from the Internal Revenue Service. This ain't my words. This is what they say a foreign trust is, the reporting requirements for it, and the tax consequences, which there really are none. That's why I'm telling y'all about foreign trust.
Yeah. And
if you think you got a foreign trust, if it don't start with a 9-8, it ain't a foreign trust. You might have a trust, but that don't mean it's foreign. So these things, these protections that you get with having a foreign trust, right? Being outside of U.S. jurisdiction, you won't have with a domestic trust. And you don't have to be a foreigner to have a foreign trust. See, a lot of these words we get, they got us thinking it means one thing when it means something else. Think about offshore accounts. People are like, I got an offshore account, or Jay-Z said it in one of his songs. I got Swiss accounts. Something he said, but that's what you're doing. You're avoiding taxation, right?
Hey, you said you see what Tony say?
He said he can screen.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm looking at the. Okay, hold on. Foreign trust reporting requirements and tax consequences. Yes, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
But it'll tell you all the forms you need to fill out, all of the whole, because we haven't been like, and I was telling I forgot who I was talking to. I think it was last week, and they was like, "Oh, I just got my taxes back. Ooh, this, that, and that." And I thought I was gonna have to owe and this and that. And I'm like, first of all, why are you paying taxes? Then two, why are you getting a return? If you're getting a return, that means you overpaid. I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute. If you've ever gotten a tax return, that's because you overpaid. This is why I say we don't understand taxes. And this is one thing I noticed. Every time I've ever gotten a job in the past when I didn't know this information, I was always like, ugh, when they bring out that I-9 and they bring out that W-4 and, you know, and what's the other document? You know, I'm like, I don't know how to fill this. And everybody just looking around like, you know, but all you got to do is fucking read. The instructions are right on the document. Read the instructions.
You ain't got to read no more, man. You can have it read. You can have it read to you.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like, we don't take the time to read the instructions, like to understand what we supposed to be doing. And then we put the wrong thing down. Next thing you know, now you in a jam, or, you know, you got to pay some money, or you in jail because you done contracted, you know, and you ain't breach your contract. You didn't even know it was a contract.
I remember hearing a judge say that, you know, ignorance is no excuse of the law. Yeah. So you will still be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, because if you don't know what you're doing, why did you sign the contract? That's how in law, that's what it means. Ignorance is no excuse. You can't, well, I didn't know. Well, motherfucker, you had to know. You signed the contract. What you mean you didn't know? Yeah. You can't be a party to a contract and then say you don't know nothing about the contract. What he saying, lean on me? You smoke crack, don't you?
Right.
Smoke crack, don't you? Yeah.
Jump, nigga, jump. Expeditiously. Well, let me get off it, man. Y'all tripping, man. Yeah. This is a good one. This is a good one.
Yeah, man.
This is a good one.
Yeah, man.
I hope, man. You know, I know I was all over the place. I'm tired, y'all. I'm sorry, but I was trying to stay on topic and you know, get so y'all can get an understanding of you know, what a trust is. You know, you can Google this information. Google types of trust, right? The different types of trust that exist. Once you understand, okay, so for instance, it's just like playing a game of Monopoly, like I said, right? You pick your piece based off of what you're trying to do, right? Now, all the pieces can pretty much do the same thing, right? But you may want the top hat. I want the dog. I don't even remember the rest of the piece. The car, you may want the car, right? Somebody else got the car, so you got to get the dog. Now, I don't want the dog. I want the car, but you got the car, so I got to get the dog. But guess what? The dog can still do the same thing that car do. And I can still win this game with that dog. So it don't matter whether I got the dog, the car, the barnacle man with the barnacle, the fucking top hat. It don't matter what piece I'm using. The goal is to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my thing. Is like, right.
It's just like chess. Everybody looking at all the pieces on the board, and they trying to make all these moves and stuff like that. Your first move should be, and your last move should be, to put the king in checkmate. All that other stuff don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the whole purpose of the game. You know, it ain't about your queen. It ain't about the pawns. It's about checkmate. Now, what do you have to do to get there? Do that.
Now, this is information that you can call if y'all got the time and y'all just want to, you know, somebody want to prove me wrong. Call, just look up your local estates attorneys, whoever, you know, locally, that's a estates attorney, a lawyer, whatever. Call them and just, if they do free consultation, just ask them these questions.
Mm-hmm.
Ask them about foreign trust. Ask them about these, you know what I'm saying? Also ask them if they're a barrister, if they're a party to the Barrister Association. Say, no, don't ask them that. Don't ask them.
Man, look, man.
They gonna hang the phone up. Oh, shit, this nigga know too much. Hang the phone up.
You try to start
man. Trust law. Everybody needs to have a trust. You're even safer. You better off with a domestic trust, right? Even if you ain't got a foreign trust, you still better off with a domestic trust than not having no trust set up at all.
Yeah.
Because your estate can still go into probate if it's a domestic trust, right? Even if you have a will and all that, because, you know, it's in that jurisdiction. But you still better off. I'd rather be in that situation than not have nothing in place, right? to where now your children and your loved ones got to fight with the state and, you know, and going through all the, you know, it's litigation. It could be years before they, you know, and then they're gonna tax it.
Yeah.
And they gonna tax it. So, yeah, man. And then another thing, the donuts, that's Latin for a gift. A lot of times we selling stuff that we don't have to sell. You know, you can get it's loophole, it's ways out. They gonna get it's ways out, and I don't care what industry it in, what jurisdiction it is. There's always a way out. They're gonna leave a loophole for their people. We just gotta figure out what those loopholes are. I done figured the loopholes out.
Yeah.
So if for instance, Big A, he got a car that he want to register, or no, he want to sell, right? But you ain't trying to go through all it. You can gift it.
Yeah.
You can't pay. You don't pay taxes on the gift. Why do you think all these rich motherfuckers got charities and nonprofits and charities? It's a reason why they have these things in place.
Right.
You want to call it money laundering, but hey, prove it. Prove it.
Yeah.
Everybody, oh, Trump, he don't pay taxes, and this person don't pay taxes, and that person don't do this, don't do that. Right, but why?
Yeah,
what do they know that you don't know?
Yo, we got the head on that.
Yeah,
It's your boy Big A, man. You know what it is, man. I appreciate y'all kicking it with us, man. I hope we made y'all day go by a little quicker, man. You know, I hope you learned something. I learned something. You know, don't forget, man. Tomorrow's Dog of the Week, 6:30 a.m. Man, you gotta be there, man. There's gonna be some giveaways like usual. You know, got the Dog of the Month coming up. Got Digital Dog Show coming up next Saturday. Can't miss that. Gonna give away free T-shirts. One going to to a new member. One going to an existing member, and one going to a viewer that's there in the chat. So you got to be there to get that, man. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be cash giveaways and whatnot, man. You still got a little bit of time to get your dog in for the Digital Dog Show, man. What you missing out on? It's free. It's free to enter and you get cash. Man, you know what I'm saying?
Can't beat
like
that.
What you doing? Yeah, you can't beat it with a stick, partner. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got to check that out, man. But other than that, man, we got Men at Work, Elevated Perspective. We got At the Cookout with Toyo. That's in the projects, man. So y'all got to, keep your head on the swivel and make sure you bring something to cook, to throw on the grill. But other than that, man, you know what it is. At 6:30 a.m., you're going to be catching us, man. And it's going down in a major way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man.
Yeah. Well, man, hold up. Where can they find you at, Pimps?
Man, you can find me everywhere because you don't never be there. You know what I'm saying? The international, national. Yeah, I'm everywhere, man. I'm in your hood. Yeah. I'm at your grandma's house, babysitting the grandchildren, man. I'm changing diapers, man. I'm spitting knowledge. I'm getting it in, man. I'm everywhere. But you can catch me on Instagram, Kenny Live Collections, the clothing brand, Acidonia Worldwide for you nasty freak niggas. What else? Man, my brain, I'm tired. Pimps Over Simpson on YouTube, man. That's the traffic in my brain, bro. And Men at Work 365 on Instagram and TikTok, man. Tap in, man. I'm working, man. I'm going a mile a minute. New releases dropping. I got some tracks dropping Friday. All streaming platforms. Check those out, man. Big A got some stuff in the works. You know, Samurai got some stuff in the works. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just stay tuned, man. We're not playing this summer, man. We hit y'all in the head all summer. All summer. We're gonna have contusions and knots all over your dome. All right.
Smashing the gas. You don't need an ambulance. Ambulance. Everybody who rode in ambulance car. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We out, man. We out.
safe, man. Stay up.
Yeah, stay up, man. Keep your head on the swivel, man. Stay safe, stay dangerous at the same time, bro.
Always.
You know
Always. Check yourself at all times. Always.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Beat drop slow, head not flow. Blood don't lie, it's that old yellow line. Sack it from the south, Michonne on the rise. Boogeyman bark, leave a mark every time. We don't breathe for clout, we breathe for spine. DNA thick, can't clone this pride. That Shogun blood, yeah, the legends don't die. Started with Boogeyman, ghost in the chain. Locked in the game, never move for fame. Old mountain lines run deep in the flame. Talk about the fire, Michonne brought the name. Then came Fat Boy, muscle in the frame. Man, hard, put respect on the name. Shotgun smooth, but the work insane. Sugar sweet jit, but a bite ain't tame. Kiki in the back, had a game in the veins. Gatorade heavy, ran it straight through the rain. Red Ninja close, watch him work in the lane. Renegade rider can't hold that chain. Blood don't lie, it's that old yellow line. Socket from the south, Michonne on the rise. Boogeyman bark, leave a mark every time. We don't breathe for clout, we breathe for spine. DNA thick, can't clone this pride. That Shogun blood, yeah, the legends don't die. Ain't no luck, just grit and grind. Every dog here put work in time. Lady Rage got that fire in her eyes. Red alert taught us how to recognize signs. Blood heavy like a 2-ton chain. Everything proven, no need to explain. They asked what's in it, that yellow campaign. Built off real, we don't fake no strain. Second with the flame, Michonne lit the wick. If you know, then you know that line too slick. From the field to the show, every move so thick you can't blueprint this. It's the legacy pick. Blood don't lie, it's that old yellow line. Second from the south, Michonne on the rise. Boogeyman bark, leave a mark every time. We don't breathe for clout, we breathe for spine. DNA thick, can't clone this pride. That Shogun blood, yeah, the legends don't die. Yeah.